Hi, I'm Nechama Skolnick-Moskowitz, and I'm Director of Curriculum Resources for the Jewish Education Center of Cleveland, as well as having had the honor of being the project director for a new curriculum that will debut this fall for elementary students involved in Jewish education. It's called La-bri'ut, To Our Health and Wellness. La-bri'ut is the Hebrew that you use. If someone sneezes, you say La-bri'ut, to health. And it seemed to be a very appropriate title for a very appropriate curriculum that has been designed to be used in this incredibly difficult period of the pandemic. I was talking to a number of colleagues this week, educational directors, who said, curriculum is great, you're putting it up, we really love it, but we need some marketing help for parents. And I thought, oh, no problem. We'll create a video, we'll create some memes, I don't know, whatever. And then I thought, maybe I'll just have a conversation with parents via video to explain some key things about this. And what I would say is, again, we are living in a very difficult time. There are all kinds of stresses. And I want to share with you I keep this on my computer, a definition of Jewish education that I heard from someone this year, and it's the process of becoming in dialogue with Jewish tradition, which I think is something that we've accomplished with this particular curriculum, because what we do is take Jewish values, we meld it with principles of caregiving that help people through very hard times, and we've ended up offering a toolkit to children that will help them not only through the pandemic, and we really almost never mention the pandemic or COVID-19 within this curriculum, but we offer them a toolkit that will help them be more resilient as life throws all kinds of things their way. Again, heavily anchored in Jewish tradition, Jewish values, Jewish stories. So I want to give you one example. We have 5 Jewish values that are the focus of this. And one of them is Ometz Lev. Ometz Lev literally translates as strength of the heart. And we're translating it as inner strength. That people need inner strength. And especially you need it when you have big feelings. Now, big feelings can explode all over the place. Whether it's anger, you're angry about something, or you're anxious about something, or even if you're excited about something. And Ometz Lev is a way to use your inner strength to make better choices when you're faced with big feelings. And we share 2 stories with the children. One is of Moses at the time that he sees the burning bush and God speaks to him from it. And it says in the Torah that Moses turned his head, he turned his face, which, like I'm going to say it, oh my God. There's this bush burning and God is speaking to him from it, and it's overwhelming. He had big feelings, but he found a way, he tapped into his Ometz Lev to help him deal with the moment. So that's one example that we share. Another one is of Miriam, who, with all the Israelites, escaped Egypt, ran across the Sea of Reeds, got to the other side, whatever happened in that water rushing and this, that, and the other. And her excitement and her probably anxiety on dry land caused her to grab a tambourine and dance and sing with the other Jewish women. She used her Ometz Lev so that her behavior was appropriate rather than just kind of, again, exploding all over the place. So this is how we bring, again, I'll use my quote, the process of becoming in dialogue with Jewish tradition. Now this learning approach is a bit unusual, and we paid attention to adults in the household and the things that we heard that were going on in March, April, May with school. We know that you're zoomed out. We know that you are juggling a ton of things in your life, whether it's work and childcare, and oh wait, you got to take care of homework and make sure kids are on task with what they're doing in their public and private school settings. And now there's this Jewish educational piece. So we developed it so that there is a half an hour on Zoom But that half an hour piece is about community building because we want community before content. But it's about community building, and it's about getting kids ready to do an at-home project that, wait, don't worry, you don't have to do a lot of supervision of. It's designed to be pretty independent. One of the things that I heard in the spring was that there were children who were beginning to discover their inner creativity and their ability to play independently in ways that they hadn't in year or years prior to that. So we wanted to tap into that. The younger children, which is early elementary, let me just say third grade and below, but each place is going to choose when and where, what ages are involved, has what kind of looks like a subscription box. There are 5 weeks to each Jewish value, each module, and there are 5 activities, one for each week, that will come in a box to you. And we have set this up with videos so that children can watch videos and know what to do without a lot of your help. Now, that's not to say that there aren't times when an adult is needed. So for instance, actually in the very first activity, which is related to Sukkot Shalom, the idea of a shelter of peace, we give them a huge piece of cloth and a iron-on transfer, which has to be ironed onto the cloth, and then they decorate it. So that's your job. That's not their job to iron. But we also add a note that says, if you can't find your iron, you can't borrow an iron, don't worry about it. They can just decorate the cloth. Our goal is not to create extra stress. The older kids are involved in challenges that are given to them via video. And again, everything is explained. They pretty much do not need any special things other than what they probably will find in your house. And they're off and running. Kids will share what they've done on Flipgrid, which is an app that is pretty easy for any age to use. Here's what I want to tell you about your involvement. You're the parent. We'd love to have you involved, but again, we know this is not the time. So we've set, as I said, we've set things up so that the kids are independent. It may be that children spend 15 minutes on an activity. That's fine. You don't have to get on their backs. It may be that some kids spend 2 hours on an activity because they're really excited about it. That's fine too. We're excited to have that happen. And it could also be that there's a child that spends no time, and you do not have to stress out about that. There is learning that goes on when the entire group is together. And if a particular activity, we hope this is not the case because we think they're pretty compelling, but if a particular activity does not speak to a child, or a child is overwhelmed with all kinds of other things going on, it's okay. It's okay. They can pick up at the next week if their headspace is a little different. So I just want to make sure that you know that this was set up specifically to deal with today's new normal and today's stresses. And we want to make sure that you are comfortable enough with this as it plays out. So that's it. Your educational program will be making choices that fit your community, your culture, the needs, feedback of parents, and so on. But we look forward to you and your child joining us in this. We have at the moment, we actually just about a week ago began letting people know. People have been hearing about this all summer long, but we've gotten more information up on our website. We have 140 educational programs across North America that are saying, yes, they're in. And when I do the math based upon numbers that I'm seeing in another source, it looks like we may have between 5,000 and 10,000 children involved in this. Your child could be one, and your child could gain some incredible tools. And back to my little slip, that this is about the process of becoming in dialogue with Jewish tradition. We hope you enjoy, and we hope your child gains.